Hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing Gotham City Sirens, Volume 1, Union. Take a look at this comic cover right here. Now, Gotham City Sirens is part of the Batman Reborn series, and I got excited for this title for two reasons. One is because I just finished my Catwoman reading, and I love Catwoman to death. I really do. But I am sad because I did finish my Catwoman reading, and it feels like there's a little hole in my heart where Catwoman used to be, where I could read her. However, see, now that she's in this title, I get to read Catwoman again. In addition to that, Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, two characters I do like, are also in this title. So that's pretty awesome! Second reason is because it's written by Paul Dini. And as you guys may or may not know, I have a secret love affair going on with Paul Dini. Strictly heterosexually comic book based, you know. Just clarifying that. I love Paul Dini. He's a fantastic Batman writer. He just does a great job with everything. He's touched all the corners of the Batman universe. Comics, video games, TV. He's done it all. It's Paul Dini. He's the man. He's like the Renaissance writer for Batman. Everything he does is just awesome. I haven't read anything bad from him. He's just an amazing writer. He's just great, and I'm doing it again, am I? I'm going on my Paul Dini praising run that I do. Shame on me. See, Paul Dini's such a great Batman writer that I kind of just go on and on about how great he is. But that's just the thing. He is that good of a Batman writer. So when I heard he was not only doing Gotham Streets, but he's also doing Gotham City Sirens, I was like, what? Really? Two Batman titles with Paul Dini as the writer? Is it Christmas all year round for Andrew? I was excited. I was really excited. And I should be excited because Paul Dini's that good. But enough about my Paul Dini praising. Let's actually talk about the comic itself. I'm going to go a little bit into the story. And I'm also going to do the good, the bad, and whether or not you get it, what I usually do. But in addition to that, I also want to analyze the three characters and their kind of placement in this book, and why Paul Dini chose them, or at least why I think he chose them, because I can't get inside Paul Dini's head. That'd be pretty fucking awesome if I could, but I can't. So anyways, with that said, let's talk about the story. The story starts off with Catwoman going around beating up bad guys, doing what Catwoman does. Beat up bad guys. However, she started having heart problems. See, Catwoman fully has not recovered from her ordeal with Hush. You know, getting her heart removed and all that stuff, which kind of sucks. See, the thing is that despite the fact that she had all the medical help from Dr. Midnight and all the help from Zatanna, she's still having heart problems. And during the fight, her heart problems start to act up, and she needs to be saved. And lo and behold, it's actually Poison Ivy that saves her. Poison Ivy invites her back to her little shindig, where she said that she's rooming up with the Riddler. Catwoman says, oh, well, okay, whatever, sure, I have nothing better to do. So they go back, and Catwoman finds out Riddler is actually being manipulated and drugged up by Poison Ivy. But whatever, shit happens. And Harley Quinn shows up. Catwoman then proposes to them that, you know, it's a dangerous town. We should stick together. It doesn't matter what side of the law we're on. We should stick together because alone we're weak, but together we're strong. Plain, flat, and simple. After some talking and some negotiating and some thinking and some, you know, all that stuff that they do, Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn agree to team up with Catwoman. Not without conditions, though. They blow a little dust in Catwoman's face, and they tie her up and try to get the truth of exactly who Batman is. Catwoman works around it, and the team eventually works together. However, they are in for a lot of trouble, because, see, they have to deal with two individuals. One is they have to deal with Hush. Harley Quinn gets a crush on Bruce Wayne, who is actually Hush, and Hush wants revenge on Harley, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman for stealing all his money. So, he's out to take them out. In addition to that, the Joker is pretty freaking pissed off that Harley Quinn's going around with Bruce Wayne. So he wants to kill her, Bruce Wayne, and everyone else in the way. That's the basic gist of the story. However, there's a little twist when it comes down to the Joker, which I'm not going to get into. I'm going to leave that for you guys to read. Which I was particularly happy about the choice. So, Let's talk about the characters before we get into the good, the bad, and whether or not you get it. Let's talk about Catwoman first, seeing that I have a particular interest in her. Catwoman is a great character, and she's really, like I said, is a very gray area character for Batman. Although recently she's become good in the past few years, past 8 or so years, she's still been, for the most part, gray area. What's great about this is we can have a hero on this comic that can still kind of be badass and do badass things. She can steal, she can work with bad guys, she can do a few bad things, and get away with it because, well, she's Catwoman. That's just what she does. She's good at it. So she can still be considered a hero even though she does a few bad stuff. Catwoman is essential for this team because she represents the good side of things. She is the good guy of this team, despite the fact that she does a few shady things. And she does. She's Catwoman. Come on. She's essentially the good guy of this team. Next would be Poison Ivy. Now, Poison Ivy is a character that really hasn't been used much in Batman in the modern continuity. She was more of a Silver Age character, then she kind of transitioned to Bronze, and then she kind of became modern continuity. But even then, she wasn't really used that much. There's only a handful of Batman titles that has Poison Ivy in it, which is a bummer because Poison Ivy is a great character. Watching the animated series growing up, seeing her, and then reading her in various Batman titles, I liked her. I thought she was good. Poison Ivy represents the bad guy section of this team. While she's not particularly evil, she's more or less misunderstood. See, Poison Ivy, you gotta understand, is, well, for lack of a better term, Mother Nature herself. She needs to be free and chaotic. It'd probably be best just to take Poison Ivy and dump her in some forest far away, but she eventually explains that that would never work because she's part human, she's part plant, and she can't go without one or the other. Poison Ivy, while representing the bad guy part of this team, is still essentially working kind of in a good way. She doesn't do anything necessarily evil, just is a bad girl. So, she fills up that role. Next is Harley Quinn. Now, Harley Quinn represents the neutral, the gray area of this team. See, Harley Quinn I always thought was better as a character when she wasn't with the Joker, because she has the freedom to go around and do her own stuff. With the Joker, she just came off as plain evil. It didn't feel right with her quirky little attitude and her cute little stuff that she does. She fills up this gray area because essentially she is a criminal, but she's trying to reconcile for her evil ways and try to do good things. Sure, she still does her scandalous bad guy stuff, but she, for the most part, tries to be good. She's also kind of lightheartedness of the group. She kind of brings that little smile to the team. Where Catwoman and Poison Ivy are very serious in their roles, well, Harley Quinn is just a ditzy, bubbly clown. I mean, quite literally and metaphorically. Never mind. You get the point. Harley Quinn fills up that neutral role, and she does a good job at actually being lighthearted, and she brings that little fun to the team that the other two can bring, but they don't. They leave that for Harley Quinn, and like I said, I like Harley Quinn a lot better when she is cut loose from the Joker and free to do her own stuff. So let's get into the good. Good. Well, the writing for the most part is solid. It's Paul Dini, so you're going to get either good to fantastic writing. This falls within the very good realm. I very much get a Batman the Animated Series feel from this, at least from the characters of Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. Because in the animated series, they teamed up once in a while, because Joker would kick Harley on her ass every once in a while. So I got a feel from those two. Catwoman is portrayed nicely here, because Catwoman is portrayed as a good guy that's just surviving, doing her own thing. What I also like is that the whole team isn't necessarily bad guys, but they're just fending for themselves and doing it whatever way they can. If you notice, they actually don't do anything bad in this. They actually go up against bad guys in this, but while still keeping the femme fatale that they have. I think Paul Dini does a very good job at balancing the good guy and the bad guy aspect of this team, which is nice. In addition to that, he also uses characters that are fan favorites that aren't really used that much. Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy are two characters that the fans love, but they're not used that much for whatever reasons. Maybe DC just doesn't think they work that well, or for the fact that Harley Quinn can only be around when Joker's around. That's why I think she's better when she's cut loose from the Joker, is because she's free to do more stuff. The fact that he introduced Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn into this comic is nice because we get to get that kind of Gotham girl kind of feeling with this, which is nice. I like that. Two is we get to see an old Silver Age character show up. If you read any of the Showcase Presents Batman material or any of the Silver Age material, you get a good old-fashioned Silver Age character who's related to the Joker. I'm not going to go into detail on what that is because that's kind of a surprise. But it is nice to see this character. I remember reading Silver Age and thinking this character is such a freaking dork. And then reading him here and he's like, oh, well, I'm glad they brought them back. It's always good to have a little connectivity to the Silver Age and the Bronze Age and reminisce about that stuff. Kind of see, you know, the continuity there. So that was nice, too. I felt as though the stories were broken up nicely, how they dealt with Hush and then transitioned into the Joker and all that jazz. It had a good pace to it. Bad. The only bad I could really say about this is that there's one random Dick Grayson and Riddler story, which just feels kind of out of place. It's not necessarily a bad story, it's a good story, but it kind of breaks up the pace, the good pace that's in this book. We got the Gotham girls doing what they need to do, the sirens, they're going on a nice upward balance, and then, boom, Riddler, Dick Grayson. And then we're back on the upward pace, and it just feels as though it breaks up the book, not in a good way. It would have been better if that story was actually at the end of the book as maybe an extra add-on, but for whatever reason, it's there. It's an okay story, it just feels a little out of place. In addition to that, I'm kind of interested to see what Paul Dini will do with these characters. I like what they did with Hush, and I like what they did with Joker, but really, what can you do from here? Obviously, he has stuff in mind, and I'm more or less curious to see that. I'm not saying this is necessarily a bad thing, it's more or less a concern of mine. Where do you go from here? So, if anything, I have trust in Paul Dini. He's going to find something out, he's going to give us good stories, and we're going to be happy with it. Whether or not you should get it. Well, I was praising Paul Dini at the very beginning of this, and rightfully so. Paul Dini does something good here. While he doesn't pull out fantastic Batman material like he's done in the past, he does something that really is something good for us Batman fans. He does something fun. This is a fun story. It should be read as a fun story. It shouldn't be read as an epic story or some kind of overly amazing story. It's just supposed to be read as a fun story. If I had to give a rating from this 1 to 10, I would give it a solid 8. It's a good story with good writing and has a fun feel to it. It really is Paul Dini just having fun. I think Paul Dini went home to his wife, Misty, who is a magician, and he kind of just sits there and he goes, ah! Well, DC gave me the ability to write a Batman title, and a Batman title that has the Gotham girls on it. Poison Ivy and Catwoman and Harley Quinn. I think I'll be very serious with one title and just have a fucking good time with the other title. And kudos to you, Paul Dini, because really it's nice to have a title in the Batman universe which isn't so heavy and overbearing like some of the material we get with the other Batman Reborn. I mean, if you look at Batwoman, Red Robin, Gotham Street, Batman and Robin, Batman in general, fantastic stuff, but it's very heavy and very serious. It's good to get a nice, light-hearted, fun ride with these characters. Now, whether or not you should get it, I do recommend it, but I do recommend picking it up later than the other titles. See, this isn't necessary. This is just something for fun. So if you're looking for essential stuff with the current Batman books, you might want to get stuff like Batman and Robin and Batwoman and Red Robin and stuff like that first. And then go for Gotham Sirens. It's like a little treat. It's like that little dessert at the end of the meal. You got the appetizers, then you got the entrees, and then you get the little dessert. You can go out when you have an extra $19 because it costs $19 for the hardcover, and I do recommend getting the hardcover and pick it up. Or you can wait for the trade. It's going to be a little bit longer, and you can pick that up for a little bit cheaper. Despite the fact that I say that you should wait on picking this up, I do still recommend you pick it up because it is a fun ride, and it's just fun. I know I said that, but it is. It's just fun. So Gotham City Sirens Union. Paul Dini, God bless you. Keep doing what you do. Keep writing for Batman. Pick it up. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.